Okay, folks, I'm not going to say what day of the week it is because it isn't one of those days of the week for me. But I'm glad I'm not at work. Oh man, we got a few things to work on here. We got a few things to show off, um, and let's just see where it goes. Um, I got this 2 pounder that I airbrushed yesterday that I need to kind of do some touch up on some black spots. I'm gonna try to do it without pulling my contacts out. Try using the super readers. Not sure how that works. Now I know why it's so dark, because this light isn't on. Ha! There we go. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, what is the first one we're going to do? I'm really tired. I was on my feet a lot today. And I got to go into work for probably a full day tomorrow. So that's why it's not the end of the week for me. Luckily, it's a short week next week. So, but we've got, how many guys we got here? 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Working on the 7th one. We got to do the socks and shoes, and he'll be good to go. What's up, Ben? It doesn't say that we're on here. How long are you gonna make it tonight, Ben? Because I might have to fast forward. Because I want you to see something. But I'm really happy with the way these Commonwealth dudes are looking. Really, really happy. So, yeah, we're making a dent now because we're almost done with this figure here, right? And then we've got these to do, and these. So we got these painted and these to do. So I'm like a third of the way done. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. There's more we can do. Like, I have multiple of these Airfix figures, and I don't mind having extra guys. Like, if I was going to paint an extra one of these riflemen, I'd paint his helmet dark. So you just woke up, so I should be here a while. Okay. You have a strange schedule today. So we got to paint his stockings and his shoes, and we're almost a third of the way done with these guys. So, hey Marcus, sorry I stood you up this morning, but so the last 2 weeks or so, I've had trouble going to sleep, and I've had trouble staying asleep. So I normally have an alarm at 5 and have one at 6 a.m. And for 2 weeks, I've been waking up before the 5 a.m. one automatically. You foolishly napped at 7:30. So at 2:30, while my life was hell, you were asleep. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. So, yeah, I ended up oversleeping. Like, next thing I know, it's like 6 a.m. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I got fucked out of my morning, So, anyhow, probably did me well. So, you're always up doing work. Ooh. No. I don't remember the last time I woke up with the alarm and much less overslept it. So that's why I have 2, because I think it just went off. I didn't hear it. Anyhow, so we're about a third of the way through the troops. We've got this 2-pounder that we've got to do the touch-up on the black. Let that dry. And then we got something in the mail. And this is the part where you would say, well, get on with it. All right, I'm going. Let me go get a line of Coke. filmed the unboxing video, but and this is my own fault for looking through the scenarios. German motorcycles from Italy. Italieri is what we used to call them back then. It's got the Italian flags. It's got to be Italieri. So, not only did I get a box of these, I got 2 boxes of them. Because I needed, that one of the scenarios, I needed four motorcycles with sidecars. You have that set. Okay, well, never mind then. Fuck it then. We're not going to see this shit. Why don't you send me a list of what things you don't have? Fuck it! I know, you say you didn't have the 25-pounder. So, here's the $1 million question, right? Other than using epoxy, what do I glue these things with? Because this is soft plastic. God, these motorcycles are gorgeous. I mean, I'm not a motorcycle person. No, these are really, really good. Hey, look, a squad leader. Yeah, these are really, really. But I'm not going to play. I'm not going to stop and start painting Africa Corps guys, right? I'm not going to do that. Use the old tester cement, the weld cement. There's no way the weld cement works on this. All right, well, let's test it. I hope that's what you mean, because I don't have the tube shit. Let's test it. I don't think it works on this stuff. I'll just use epoxy. I don't need that much. You have the tube stuff. I don't have the tube stuff. I got hot glue gun. I think hot glue gun would probably work great for this. You only need a tiny little bit. No, I'm not going to glue crew members in. I wasn't expecting it to be soft plastic. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have gotten it. I wasn't expecting it to be soft plastic. So yeah, I took a glance at, I realized I did not do my homework assignment. I did not look at Zhao's page. And I saw some of that Burakim stuff. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're doing this weekend. We're definitely going to build foxholes or something like that. But I don't want to get diluted too much into like, oh, we're going to build some Africa Corps, But I had a really hard day at work today, really difficult day, trying, and I have a full day tomorrow. So, but we should have another unboxing tomorrow and another unboxing on Monday. Well, what's that mean? It just means I went a little crazy. It was all cheap shit I bought. I didn't buy anything really expensive. And it's all Commonwealth stuff, just so you know. So, that doesn't mean we're not going to do Panzers. So, I'm about halfway through Tick's video. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. And this morning, I was trying to do... I really wish I was more adventurous to be able to figure out how to use this format. Because I would really like to do a live session and kind of figure shit out. And one of the things I'm talking about figuring shit out is I'm watching his video, right? And I go on Google Earth over here to that part of the world. We got Tobruk here. And here is the Adam. Let's change this to satellite view. Okay, and here's a little mosque. Here's a little mosque that supposedly like a prophet and his son are buried at. And I'm looking at this, trying to kind of process where everything is. Now, the first thing I noticed is, obviously the ground color changes a lot on the light, but the ground color I'm using for my figures works fine for this. But the one thing I noticed is it's kind of hard to see what is up and what is down. So doing some math, you can see the escarpment. And I was looking at his diagram. I took a picture of it. I don't want to play his video live because that's probably copyright shit. Hopefully it's not copyright shit by showing you this. So I'm in this part of the battle, right? I'm at this is one of the stages in the battle. And I'm trying to peel back the layers of the onion and really enjoying doing it. And you've got this escarpment here. So apparently this is higher than this. The actual airfield is in a valley. So you've got this goes down into the valley, and then this goes back up. And then when you get to the other side, it actually goes down again. So all of this is high, all of this is high, and that is the valley. So I'm trying to, using that information, look at the map and kind of process, okay, does that make sense? And it does, because this is a high spot over here that drips into the valley, and you can see where it rains. This is where the flow of the minerals and stuff goes down. And then on the other side, it goes back up. And then you're like, okay, well, how far is that? How wide is it? Obviously, it varies, and it looks like at this point, it seems to be about 4 miles wide at this point here. So I was trying to do the math, and there's this wildlife refuge that is pretty damn close to where the airfield would be. Now, I don't think the airfield is an actual airfield. I think the airfield was just a spot that was flat, and but just really enjoying, just trying to, I'm a Google map fan. I use it all the time, and I'm really comfortable with it. There's no, like, Google Mobile didn't go down here and take pictures, but you can see where there is the escarpment here, and I'm sure it's changed something over 80 years, but not tremendously so. And it's wide here, and then ends up tapering into, you can see, I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see how it tapers across. But I was trying to think, okay, like, what's up and what's down, and just trying to, and read, here it is, and it narrows down into, it's just really interesting, just trying to process all that stuff. Now, here, there's a lot of, like, here's a community center. Is there pictures of the community center? No, there's not pictures of the community center. But just kind of try to process what we're looking at. And there's, like, no pictures of, like how big of a drop is it? Like, is it 100 feet? Is it 30 feet? So anyhow, it's really interesting. I'm really enjoying his video. But the first thing that I noticed about Operation Crusader. Now, I'm not through the whole thing, okay? But it seems to me that when you think of Operation Crusader, you think of, oh, okay, the Honeys charged the Germans, right? The Honeys, which were the 4th Armored Brigade, the whole Armored Brigade was all Honeys. 170, 160 something Honeys. And they were like one of the original, that was one of the first tank-on-tank parts, was those, where they mixed it up. And then they basically went in, like, stupid mode. And were, didn't mix it up. They were behind. They were, the 15th and the 21st went in a different direction, and they followed them. But, far enough that they were pushing them, but they weren't really, doing damage to them. So they really haven't been a factor up to this point. I know that they will be. But one of the things that I want to do is and there's lots of references for this stuff, I'm going to do an extremely deep dive into Operation Crusader. And the reason why I want to do an extremely deep dive in Operation Crusader is because there's a lot of potential scenarios that happen in different places that'll give the flavor of the whole big battle. Plus, but I'm a unit junkie. So I'm going to build some tanks, and I want them to have the correct markings on them, right? And in doing so, I downloaded. Why can't I get out of this picture? Close all. Start over. I downloaded this right here. This is actually off of Flames of War. Pretty good. I think it's off of Flames of War. Maybe. So here's the breakdown of all the units. It may not be off of Flames of War. The font sure looks like it. All the units in the 7th Armored. All the regiments. So, 7th Armored Brigade, 7th Hussars, 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, 6th Royal Tank Regiment. Each one of those normally has about 50 tanks, generally. So the 7th Armor here, it says it's Crusaders, A-10s, and A-13s. 22nd that's the one that was on loan from the other armored division. It's the one that has the stag symbol. 3 regiments, 2nd Royal Gloucestershire Hussars, 3rd County of London Yeomanry, 4th County of London Yeomanry. Those are all Crusaders, every single one of them. The 4th Armored Brigade is all Stuarts. And that one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That has 5 different regiments in there. So they're either less strength than the other regiments, otherwise there'd be a ton more tanks, or something. But so I'm going to create an Excel spreadsheet, I think, with a tab for each one of these units. And as I find pictures, or as I find models with instructions that have drawings of different paint schemes for each one of these units at Operation Crusader, I'm gonna put them on the tab. There's lots of stuff on the 8th Hussars that have honeys. Lots of stuff on them. Lots of names for their tanks. Lots of paint schemes. Crazy stuff. So, I got a couple of A-13s. So, my A-13s are going to be part of the 7th Armored Brigade. Now, whether they're going to be 7th Hussars, 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, or the 6th, I don't know. 7th Hussars actually got beaten to a pulp. It got destroyed completely. It's the first unit that was destroyed of the British ones, as far as I can tell, if the video is accurate. So there's just a lot of really good stuff on there. So just to give you an example, all right? I need the other readers. Let's go to Scalemates, all right? So we'll go to Scalemates. And I'm doing this because this is the kind of shit I like to do. I really like doing this. Because then when you make a decision how you paint something, you feel that you've made the best decision with the information that's available. So we're going to do a search for honey. Let's go M3 honey. Okay, and here's all the kits that have an M3 honey in them. And I don't care what the scale is, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter that it's 1/72 or 1/35. It's actually probably better that they're 1/35. And you go down here and you say, okay, here is a model by Academy. All right, so I'm going to go click on this model of Academy. Is there instructions? Well, first of all, here's the different markings that are available for it that come in the kit. Okay, and I'm not going to buy these kits. It's just to see how they tell you to paint them for that particular unit. Here it is. 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars at City Rizet. Okay? Encounter scheme. Okay, so we're going to go in here. There's a download option for it. So we'll download the instructions. So you have instructions that look like this. Remember, this is for a 1/35th scale model. It's irrelevant. So we're going to scroll back to the bottom, generally where it is. Okay, and you've got a little black and white like this. So you've got Bellman, that's the name of a tank, 8th Royal King's Hussars, 7th Armored Division, but this is at Bir Hakeim, Libya, May 1942. So this is Ghazala. This is a Ghazala paint scheme. Again, assuming this is correct, right? The next one is same unit, 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 7th Armored Division, City Rizet, Libya, November 1941. This is what we want. So you come down here, and this is what one of the particular vehicles looks like. So I'm going to take a photograph of this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to... I don't like to search things with my computer because you end up getting... I'll end up going to places, and I don't necessarily mean porn sites. We're not searching for that stuff. But you go to places that have where viruses can get on your computer, and the next thing you know, I've got a redirect virus. So I don't like to search with a computer. I've gone everywhere with the phone, and I mean about everywhere with the phone, and I've never picked anything up. Or I've picked it up and it's dormant. So I'm really comfortable. The phone is really good at doing some things, and the computer is really good at doing some other things. So we're going to take something like this. Okay, here's the tank. We're going to do a screenshot of that. Okay, and then we will edit, and we will just cut that little part, and then we'll put that on the page for that particular unit. Let me show you a grand example, okay? Because sometimes the instructions come in full color. And there's a particular model by a company called... Let me see which one it is. Of the Honey. We're still on the Honey. Is it this Mirage one? Mirage Hobby? It has 3 different units from Operation Crusader. Or 3 different models of Operation Crusader. Oh, please have a... Or at least it says it is. Okay, so is there another set of the instructions? There is instructions for this one because I've downloaded it. Man, don't make me look bad. Why isn't it here? Okay, let's try this again. Academy, Airfix, Mini Art, Kangi. Maybe it's this Mirage. Maybe it's this one once. Okay. I'm going crazy. I did not imagine this. Because I told you the other day I found one that was incredible. The paint scheme was incredible. And it's one of these. Alright, so let me just start at the beginning. We've already opened the Academy one. Okay. The Airfix one probably doesn't have anything exciting on it. I'll take a look at it anyways. I gotta go in there anyways and take a photo shot of it. Oh, the Airfix one actually has something in color. What battle is it for? It is for 7th Armored in 1942. Okay, so you can tell that this is a different kind of a paint scheme, and you can tell that that is light stone, not Portland stone. Yellowish, more yellow. Okay, so the Airfix one was useless for that. Okay, next on the list is Mini Art. Okay, let's click Mini Art. Download the instructions off of Mini Art. It might actually be this one that I'm talking about because it was in full color. Okay, 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 4th Armored Brigade, 7th Armored Division, Operation Crusader, autumn 1941. So here is a full Monty of a honey for Operation Crusader of that same unit. Okay? So we're going to screenshot that. Okay? Go to the next one. Even tells you what decals it comes with there. So keep going to the bottom. Keep going. Usually there's sometimes, it's unusual that you would have the paint scheme first. Okay, this is the one that I saw, not the Mirage one. Okay, so here's that same one at the top. I just took a picture of it, right? And there is the second one that is, look, it's got air recognition stripes on the back of it. And this one is for 10th Armored Division, Alem al Khalifa, August 1942. So this is an Alamein scheme. Okay? You ready? You sitting down? I don't know how I saw this and didn't buy the honeys. Okay? I know, I didn't want to get diluted too much. 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars, 4th Armored Brigade, 7th Armored Division, Libya, November. Okay, so there's another one. Same unit. Look at this paint scheme. It's got the red and white stripes on the roof. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Make sure this thing's centered. Screenshot. This is all the same unit, and here's the headquarters unit from the Africa Corps. Okay, so we're done with that one. All right, what's next on the list? That was Mini Art, a 1/35th scale model. Okay, British light tank Stuart Honey 1/48 scale company called Gasoline. Okay. No instructions. Okay. Next one, Kengi 1/48 scale. No instructions, unfortunately, but there are there's 4, they're all C Squadron. Okay, so you know that they're going to have C names, you know? Oh, one's Crossbow, I've seen that one before. Captain Cuddle, Coronac, and Callboy. Oh boy, we can have some fun with that, Callboy. So here's the name, it literally tells you what vehicles are in it. So I'm going to actually take a screenshot of that. And the reason why is, I don't give up easy, okay? This is Mirage Hobby in 1/72nd scale, okay? So I'm going to put a pin in this, and we're going to do Mirage Hobby 1/72nd M3 Honey. We're going to just do a loose search for that, okay? And then I'm going to do an image search for it. And look at this. I don't want to do cookies. Reject all. Because this is 1/72nd Depot, and I think this is one of these sites that is says things are in inventory and they aren't. There are some screenshots of different things that are included. Okay, apparently some 3D printed stuff. Okay, and let me visit it again. I got out of it accidentally. Look at this. That is the breakdown of those particular vehicles. Now, they might have actually had instructions in it, but nobody uploaded it to ScaleMates. So, I don't think I need to turn it sideways. Screenshot of that thing too. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Is there's different counter schemes, patterns. Look at these three different vehicles, and they have the dark and the light all in the same place. Kind of like the way late war U.S. destroyers were. But they're not exactly the same. You know, and they're still done in the field, so there can be variations of them. You know, I'm saying is this line could go a little bit farther down, and it's not the end of the world. Okay? And here's all the markings. Bellman, crossbow, beacon, abbot of chantry, Captain Cuttle, callboy. Yeah, this is the same thing. Okay? And it keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. And I haven't done a deep dive in this yet. There's just so much free stuff that's out there. On Super Hobby, which is an online retailer, Super Hobby, there is even more. It is the top spread view of those tanks. Look at that. That's freaking amazing. This is what the internet is good for. Look, and you can zoom in on it. Freaking amazing. Can I quit my day job yet? All right. We're going to say, whoa, let's not turn the phone off. Screensaver. Brent Gunner. Right, give him a dose. Okay, we're going to save that. We're going to go over to this other screen, and we're going to save that as well. So I should be able, it has enough resolution, I can go in here and... Yeah, here. And even gives you a little description of this vehicle. Colorized photo showing showing the lost in the knot. It's obviously a weird translation. November 19th, 20th, 1941, M3 Stuart tank named Bellman. Tank was knocked out by tanks of 1st Battalion, 8th Panzer Regiment, 15th Panzer Division, DAC. So if it's 1st Battalion, it was probably knocked out by a tank that had a 100, 200, 300, or 400 series number. If it was a 400 series number, it was a Panzer IV. About 5 miles northeast of Gabr Saleh, and abandoned by its own troops during the retreat. Okay, what do we have over here? Crossbow. Crossbow colorized photo showing the knocked out M3 Stuart named Crossbow. Belonged to the C Squadron, hence the name that started with a C. C Squadron of the 8th King's Royal Irish Hussars 7th Armoured Division. Look, there's like top views of all this stuff. And this one has the Desert Rat symbol on it in a 40. A 40 in red. Okay? So, if I go to my other download, which is a screenshot, see, this is so much easier to do on the phone. there is this site that had a bunch of like markings there for it's like a UK tank symbol. And this is British Armored Division, Middle East, late 1941. And 40 is the Senior Armored Regiment. So C Squadron should all have red circles. And they should have a 40 on it. So in this organization, this organizational chart, which is right here, the 4th Armored Brigade, the 8th Hussars apparently is the senior regiment of those 5 or so. Okay. Is there any more pictures of that instruction sheet? And here is apparently what the official camouflage scheme is for the counter. But there was several different counter schemes on that. This is off of somebody's Pinterest account. Okay, so right there, we already know how to paint like 5 different tanks that were Operation Crusader, all in that unit. What I would do is, let's say I got to get a bunch of honeys, I'd use those schemes, and I'd change the names of the ship. I'd change the ships. I'd change the name of the tanks. I'd do make believe names. So if it's C Squadron, it could be it could be different things. Because I don't want to do like Bellman, like, oh well, it didn't have rust in that one spot. It would be ones that all with the same kind of. Like they're all sea names, right? So I'm not going to name one Crawdad because like they don't have crawdads in England, but Centurion or something, they like those. They have those mythological type names. Those are always my favorite one, the British mythological type names. So where were we? We were on Scalemates, weren't we? This is off of Mirage Hobby. That's the one that didn't have instructions. Mirage Hobby was the one that didn't. Or maybe I'm getting confused. So we're going to go back to Scalemates. And I'm sure you do the same thing with the Germans. I'm sure you do exactly the same thing with the Germans. But I'm going to screw with the Germans because there's no way. There's a couple things I'm not going to do with the Germans. I'm not going to do the tank companies that have only one big number. Because you would have like, the company would be like, or the platoon, whatever, would have a 5 and every one of the tanks would have a 5 in it. And it's like, okay, so you're basically numbering them all the same. And I'm also not doing numbers that go over the doors or vision ports on the side of the Mark 3s or 4s because it distorts the decal. Even if you like how it looks, a decal that's laying flat on the tank is this big. If you end up going over stuff, it ends up looking this big. So they're smaller. It just, there's nothing you could do about that. Other than hand paint them and, Scalemates. And you can do that with everything. Say you wanted to do, and I looked at the honeys and I knew that paint scheme there was incredible, right? And, I don't want to do 4 tanks like that. Make one like the command tank that ends up having that big stripe on the top, So let's do a search. A15 Crusader. I have not looked at this. Let's see what we get with A15 Crusader. Okay, here's the one with a full kit. Mark III. We don't care about Mark IIIs. Sorry about that. Here is a border model one. And it's fucking captured. Like, gotta go check out Gazala Grants. Absolutely. I'm sure there's lots of information on that. Let's see if there's a paint scheme that comes in here. It's not captured. That one's captured. I don't do captured vehicles. Okay. Here is the Saint, 1942. I've seen that one. That's 67 is the red 67, and it's first armored. Let me see if I can find Crusader Mark 1s. I have a feeling that they were Crusader Mark 1s. Because that was like the first battle that they used Crusaders in any number. Okay, the number goes before the thing. Okay, so that's a Crusader Mark 1 from Italy. I mean, yet here it says Crusader Mark 3. Crusader Mark 1 from Italy, 1/35th scale. Okay. We have 2 tanks from Operation Crusader. One of them from the 22nd Armored Brigade, and another one from the 7th Armored Brigade. Okay? Give me some instructions. Italy instructions are, you really like the British camo schemes in Africa. I think everybody, lots of people love the Africa Corps. I think the British stuff is cooler. I think the British paint schemes are they're wilder, And the Germans have really good logos and stuff for their Panzer divisions, but let's be honest, the ones in the I don't mind the way the crooked coconut looks. It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's got that evil symbol on it, but whatever. It is what it is. That's what they used, right? The 21st Panzer Division is fucking lame. A D? When do you ever want a D? I didn't want one in school. That's a stupid symbol. The British stuff's really cool looking. And we're going to do the Germans, too. All right, what do we got in here? And welcome back, by the way. 7th Armored Brigade, 7th Armored Division, Operation Battle Axe. Okay, this one's for Battle Axe. Unknown unit, Operation Crusader, North Africa, 1941. Are there any markings? Well, we got a tank number on it. And no other markings on it. Okay? Well, I don't care. We're still going to take a screenshot because we're building stuff. Okay? 4th County of London Yeomanry, 22nd Armored Brigade, 1st Armored Division, even though it was attached to the 7th, Operation Crusader, North Africa, 1941. Okay? It's an overall sand color, and it has a 63 on the front bumper. Okay, so if we consult our chart, the 63 is not one of them. There was a lot of British units that ended up in transition. The desert stuff is it's totally different than everything else. I suspect, I haven't looked this up. I'm a good fucking guesser though, okay? I suspect if I go look at the British Armored Division of this same time period that's not in the desert, I'm going to find a 63 on one of them. Because it came directly from England. Let's see if I'm right. I love this shit. This opens the pores in your God-given brain. This is investigative reporting. Because I don't have an agenda. I'm not like, I want these guys to use number 72. No, I want to see what they have, you know? So I believe I found this. I believe I found this site with British tank markings. And this is, it's called UK tank markings. All right, overview. And if we go down here to there is a link. Army of Service flashes. That's what we're looking for. All right. First of all, let's view this as a desktop site. I got a big phone, man. We don't need to be like looking through like a magnifying glass. That's on the overview. Okay, let me click on that. Okay, now we go to UK tank markings. So then you got something that looks like this. Kids call it autism these days. I can eat peanut butter. It doesn't affect me. Markings overview, Army of Service markings. Okay. Nope, that's not the one. Markings overview. No, it's in here somewhere. Formation insignia. Armored formations. Nope, that's not the one. What does it say? Pictures from this site can be what? Material from this site may be copied for free distribution, providing acknowledgement of the sources given. Cool. I'm not going to take credit for somebody else's stuff. That's like uncool. Action service markings, armored formations. Okay, here it is. All right. So you have all these a timeline in different times. So we're going to find. So we have British Armored Division Europe 1940. Nope. British Armored Europe 1941-42. Maybe. Armored Division Europe 44, and then in the Middle East, there's a 1940, an early 41, a late 41, which is the other one that's the one that I have it from. A Middle East late 42. What number did I say? It was a 63? Okay, does it appear in the next period? It does not. The Armored Brigade has 71, 40, 86, 67, or 60. All right, so let's go to the one in England at the same time, and I bet you I'm going to find a 63. That would be British Armored Division Europe 41-42. And there is a 63. In green, it's the Junior Armored Brigade. Told ya! I mean, the markings could have been wrong, right? I mean, they might have made a human error and the markings are wrong. That's fantabulous, right? So, we're going to take a screenshot of that. Okay? We've just begun the Crusader stuff. And, of course, I botched it and went back and lost my skill mates page. That's one of the things that I'd rather do on the computer because it's easy to do back. I think there's a way to do back on your phone, too. I'm retarded. I don't know how to do that, okay? I can't be good at everything. I perform my miracles on 1/72nd scale. I just don't like surfing with a computer because you can pick things up. A lot of these sites that you go to are like free hosting sites that, there's like stuff waiting to jump on your computer, I did that one time like many years ago and I got a redirect virus. It didn't mess anything up other than I wanted to go to one place and it took me it was just annoying as shit. Luckily it happened at a time my computer was already that computer was already going that way. Scalemates, See if I can cut a corner. Scale Mates Crusader. And see if it can already send me the... Yep, that's what you do. Go ahead and when you do the search, just put what you're searching for in the Scale Mates and it takes you right to the page that has all the stuff on there. The Tamiya 148. Oh, the Tamiya 148 scale. Let's see what they have on here. Download the instructions. Tamiya, the gold standard, as far as I'm concerned. Unknown unit, North Africa, 1941. Unknown unit, North Africa, 1941. Unknown unit, North Africa, 19... Well, all these basically just have the markings. I always like the way this looks. This one. What is this? This is a Alamein, definitely. No, actually, this is... Well, this one's for 1st Armored Division El Hama, March 1943. But that's like a... that's like the black, the faded black and the sand color on it. Got to start your chef roll. Better you than me, man. I'd starved my family, unfortunately. Unintentionally. Crusader Mark II, Italeri. Let's see what we got in here. Let's look at download these instructions. Oh, this is the one we had before? No, it's not. It just says British Army, North Africa, 4041. And it's overall in one color. Doesn't even have any unit markings. Oh, no, yeah, it does. It's 67 with the 1st Armored. I love the Rhino, but they're not in Operation Crusader. So anyways, I'm going to put together a document that has all that kind of stuff on there. You know, so you can make informed decisions. You know, that are based in reality with, you know, maybe some variances that you can stand living with. Okay, so before we do and mess with the German motorcycles, we're going to end up painting this tomorrow. We can't paint this if there's some black showing. If there's some spots that are supposed to have black and don't. So let's go ahead and take care of that first. We will use this brush here. We will find a spot here to pour some of the Vallejo primer. And hand brush any spots that we missed in our airbrush adventure yesterday. Yeah, I got a fucked up weekend. I got to go in. We got to work a full day tomorrow. So, you know, luckily I didn't find out today. I mean, I knew it was coming. I knew the screw-in was coming. That's okay. Next week's a short week. Let's go ahead and take this off of here. Certainly I can grab this from somewhere else and not get paint on myself. So we're probably not going to do a really long session until Sunday morning. Because I don't see any way that I'm not going to be at work until at least 2 tomorrow. I just don't see how, you know, we gotta get it. A lot of people are coming in to load a bunch of stuff, so we're at their mercy basically when they show up, and people don't show up to load until they've unloaded their previous spots. So I'm going to expect to basically be there all day. And that's better, because if I expect that and it doesn't turn out that way, when? Okay, it was really the guns themselves that were missing a few spots. So let's take a look at this. We don't want any light colors in a recess. That's just counterintuitive. I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing off. Okay. And I actually have some German motorcycles from, I want to say they came with something, like maybe a Kubowagen from Fujimi. And it's like 1,000,000 parts. And I'm not really a motorcycle fan, but they seem to show up in a lot of those scenarios. And you gotta admit, it's gonna be funny when you knock somebody off and, you know, see where the motorcycle ends up careening to. Now, I didn't glue this for the express purpose that I should be able to rotate this up. Okay, well, if I can't rotate it up, I can't rotate it up. Just to get into all the nooks and crannies, but I don't think I missed anything. It's going to be even less noticeable when you put the next coat of paint on it. Cyber Mage. I gotta remember, that's what that game's called. This one rotates. Cyber Mage. That probably looks like ass now. I can't say there's a single old game that I'm like, oh, I love the way it looks. You just put up with that stuff because it was just, we didn't have a choice. I see some light color in there. I see you. Okay. Let's put these guys off to the side. See what we're dealing here with the German motorcycles. Well, this thing's almost fallen off. And they don't have any instructions, do they? Other than that. So let's see how the fit and finish is on these things. Where are my Tamiya cutters? All right, so let's get, what we're interested in is the sidecar ones. Okay, so the sidecar ones, just pull it off the sprue. And are the handles the same? It looks like it. We cut way far back from that. And two tires. and the base that they go on. That's it, right? Okay. So we're going to try to do a morning show, even if it's a brief one. Which, it would be a brief one, unless I got up at like 3 in the morning. Which means I'd have to go to sleep, like, soon. And the problem is I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. Especially not after having that coffee. Where is the X-Acto knife? It's over here for opening the package. We did do the unboxing video, but we haven't published that yet. Okay. And then we're going to trim this off, and this off, and this off. All right, and let's see how this fits in here. So I'm probably going to put it on the stand and then maybe not glue it down and have the best of both worlds. Oh, there's the handlebar. Okay, so let's just remove this. And it is soft plastic. And then we will need to trim this. I believe this sits just flush like this. So these things were actually fairly expensive. They were like each one of these sets was about $20 by the time you had freight in. There you go. I'm still in work mode. Well, that fits on there really well. Maybe we won't need to use glue. That works too. Doesn't look like there's any flash on here other than these spots where it attaches to the sprue, which is kind of inevitable. This little wheel goes back here. I don't have to glue these. I don't think you have to glue them at all. And you get an option of whether you want a guy with an MP40 or a guy with an MG34. So let's say you want this guy with the MG34. Let's see what this clown looks like. Okay, this one is not the sprue. This is not the peg. This is the one where it attached to the sprue. Alright, so then we've got this guy. He needs to go farther in. Let's remove it from here first. There we go. Just have to push it past that spot. Maybe we'll glue the tire on. Yeah, the stand is fine. It's not too big. And then you got a driver option, don't you? We're gonna trim him properly. This guy's got a peg in his ass. What'd I say? I said he's got a peg in his ass. He does. Not that there's anything wrong with that. All these figures are pegged. Looks pretty cool. The figures are really nice. Really, really nice. Bike Nazis. And then the single motorcycles, you can have only one guy, or I think you can have them. They're on a date, or just one guy. So, yeah. No, these are pretty cool. These are really pretty good. They're much better than the other motorcycles I have, which I have a million pieces, and the figures are all like, they're like gimps, like, you know, they. No, they have. That would be too much of a facial expression for the figures. You know, they're like, their features are erased. They're old figures. Okay. To be continued. All right. Let's put this stuff away and go back to the 8th Army. I'm going to need to take my contacts out. I'll be right back. All right. Yep, that's the one. All right, British uniform. Oh, that's khaki. And black. Not that black. This one. You don't want to mix the primer in. That's a recipe for I better not go there. So I think I'm going to finish this figure and I'm going to stop for the night. This will be the 7th rifleman. Well, the guy with binoculars is not technically a rifleman, but I guess we gotta pick out before I stop that. I need to go ahead and glue his whatever name this guy's going to be. When you're dealing with stuff that has multiple steps that they have to dry before you go and do the next one, it's kind of tricky what you got to do sometimes. But all this stuff that I talked a little while ago, all of the deep dives you can do. When I used to do World War II, that stuff wasn't available. It just wasn't available. And when I was painting ancients, that's the kind of stuff you had to do. Maybe not so detailed because there wasn't like, unit arms of service markings and things like that, but there was like, examples of like heraldry and things that you knew, and you kind of had to make your own kind of decisions based on like the lack of information that was available. believe we're using the ochre color for the little puttees. Can't remember if I've got one or two Bren guns. I mean, not Brens, Vickers, I'm sorry. Because a lot of these sets I lost the figures of as a kid. They're from like when I was like 12 years old. And I got a couple, I got like 2 sets of African Corps and like 2 sets of Desert Rats, of remainders of what's left of them. And, you know, there's some figures that just got lost. And there's some figures that just got damaged. So but of those 2 sets, I have one of them that is like a darker plastic and less flexible. And then when any place that I had that option, I went with those figures. I don't want a super bendy figure. That just, nothing good can come from that. We're going to let that guy dry so we can mess with his happy ass in the morning. Now, names. This guy is just a British guy, so we want a name that's kind of we're going to make this guy Ramsay. move the armrest. It's not where it's supposed to be. Yep. Don't need very much. Yeah, I probably should try to go to sleep early and improve my chances of being able to do a morning episode instead of sleeping through my alarm like I did this morning. Okay, folks. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. Just wanted to go on a little bit and show you what was happening, and we'll see you guys again hopefully in the morning.